Bianca J, and I'm back with another word. And so, you guys, today's word is going to be a marriage word, right? I don't have a title for it just yet, but this revelation come from what the Lord had given me today around 4 p.m. today, right? And so me and my daughter were riding across town. We began to have a worship session in the car, right? And I mean, literally, this worship session brought me to tears, y'all. And so I'm bawling and worshiping all at the same time, right? And so as we're approaching a stoplight, I began to, wipe the tears from my face. And the Lord begins to highlight this license plate holder. And so on the license plate holder, it says, I do, right? And so I just began to cry even more, tears of joy, right? Because of God's faithfulness, right? The way he reveals things to us, the way he speaks to us, the way that he comes through on his promises, the way that, he doesn't forget. And like just the way that the Lord knows our hearts, right? Okay, and so after I began to clap my hands and praise even more, the Lord also highlights this sign that was on this pole. And so on the pole, the sign said increases 911. And so I knew that the Lord was speaking with that also because how he highlighted it to me. And so that this increase is coming rapidly, right? This will be a swift move that is coming rapidly from the Lord. And so I began to cry again, y'all, because God's faithfulness is just unmatched, right? And so the Lord has a way of getting you to want the same things that he wants for you when he wants to give them to you, right? He'll keep bringing that thing up to you. Be like, oh, Lord, I want that too. You get to praying for this thing, right? Because the Lord just keeps showing you things this when he wants to give you something, right? And so for many of you, the Lord is getting ready to surprise you with how he's getting ready to bring this marriage promise to pass, right? And so as I continue on across town, the Lord begins to speak to me about how he's gathering, how he's plucking, right? And so he's gathering his daughters for his sons, right? He's plucking his daughters for his sons. And so this marriage door is opening up to a lot of his children. So his children are getting ready to receive their harvest. And so what the harvest looks like, it looks like, answered prayers, right? And so we see this in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, right, where this is a celebratory harvest, right? And so in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, it refers to this young woman dream of marriage, right? And so the woman speaks on her beloved, right, being at her door, her husband being at her door. And this is the marriage door, you guys. And so he had come to gather his wife, to gather his bride. And so we see that in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. I'll read it to you all as well. And so it says, I come into my garden, my sister, my spouse. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk. Eat, O friends. Drink, ye. Drink abundantly, O beloved, right? And so that's Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. And so this is her husband being at the marriage door. And so he's knocking. He's coming to come gather her. He's coming to come gather his bride, right? And so as we read a little further in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 2, it says, I sleep, but my heart waketh. It is the voice of my beloved that knocketh, saying, open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled, for my head is filled with dew, and my locks with the drops of the night. And so in verse 2, we can see where she's sleeping, right? She's getting ready to delay her promise. She said, though she is sleeping, her heart is awakened, right? Her heart is awakened. And so she hears him at the door knocking, and he's telling her to open up, so that he can gather her, so that he can pluck her. He's ready to receive his wife. He's ready for his wife, right? And because she wasn't ready, she delayed opening up the door, right? She delayed this promise. And so as you read further into Song of Solomon chapter 5, you will see how she begins to search for her husband because she didn't open up the door. And because she didn't open up the door, he walked away from the door. He left, right? And so she begins to explain her love and her admiration for her husband, right? And so it wasn't that she didn't like him or she didn't love him. It was that she delayed it for appearance reasons, right? She delayed opening up the door because she felt like she wasn't prepared. She wasn't ready, right? And so to whom this word is for, the Lord is saying, do not be like this young woman, right? Who knew her husband was at the door, but did not answer it because she wasn't prepared. And so if the Lord has been speaking to you about readiness for your spouse, the Lord is saying, please, for you to please be obedient in your preparation. Do not stop preparing for your husband just because you don't see your spouse anywhere in sight, just because you don't know who your kingdom spouse is, just because you don't know how this thing is going to play out. The Lord is saying, do not stop getting ready. Do not stop preparing yourself for marriage because it is about to happen rapidly. It is about to happen swiftly. And so the Lord is getting ready to send your husband, your kingdom spouse, to your door at any moment. And so this will be a surprise of a lifetime. And so the way that the Lord is going to do it is going to be a special delivery to your door. And so the Lord is increasing you rapidly. Just be prepared for that. And so what this increase will look like, you guys, this increase will come in the form of your marriage promise being fulfilled, a new beginning, right? Love, joy, happiness, finances, an increase of prosperity, an increase of abundance, an increase of stability. And so there will be increase in every area of your life. And so the Lord is saying just to expect the unexpected, because this thing is getting ready to come to pass. And God is about to show up and show out in your life mightily in the name of Jesus. So be prepared. And so you guys, this is the end of this word. And until my next video, you guys stay focused and be blessed. And I'll see you on my next one.